So here we go, guys. Game number 1 on the Berlingrad. The first player here at the top left. He's our blue Zerg player from Alpha X. He is RAGNAROK. And spawning here at the bottom right, we got our red Terran playing for the team of Storm Gaming. Put your hands together for GUMIHO. Alrighty, so basically this is going to be a standard GSL group stage format. We're here for Group A of the Alpha X Katowice waiting room tournament. And basically we have in this group RAGNAROK, GUMIHO, which we are starting now, and also Fire and Rex. And basically this is all going to be a best of 3. And whoever are the top 2 players that comes out of the group will advance to the playoffs. And already we are starting off game number 1 with a little bit of aggression, as RAGNAROK, he went for that pool before the hatch. But unfortunately for him, this Reaper will catch it in time. And this will of course alert him to stick the Reaper back at home instead of send it across the map. Unless he's, well, I guess he's already has the Marines out. And also with the Reaper picking off a few lings there, so he will be able to feel confident enough to go across the map with the Reaper. But of course the Queen will deny him access, at least into the natural base. But of course this base, or this map does have a cliff area for the Reaper to jump in, and looks like not a lot to see here. There's not going to be a really quick lair of any sorts. But can he get a drone on his way out? Or if he is going to get his Reaper out of there in time? It looks like he will with that Reaper grenade. Unfortunately for Queens, they do walk slow off of creep, so you know they kind of waddle like in slow-mo. Alright, looks like RAGNAROK will take the third at the bottom triangular base, which is no surprise. I mean, this is a really big, large surface area, so I mean, I guess GUMIHO can kind of fit his tank on the high ground, but really there's not a lot of choke areas where RAGNAROK can't get a surround of some sort, or maybe even set up a little bit of a flank if there is a tank push. But looks like GUMIHO for the time being not going for a tank push yet. I'm gonna actually go for a third CC, and also gonna go ahead and try to maybe find a little bit of damage with this ragtag group of Marines. Maybe kill off some creep, or maybe, you know, pick off some drones, some transferring drones of some sort. Maybe a random overlord, as we just saw there. There is one random overlord that is trying to fly into safety, but looks like GUMIHO is going to go ahead and just be content with that creep tumor. Alright, so it looks like the creep is starting to spread, at least through the middle, and that's going to be really crucial, especially with this map here, as usually GUMIHO would, of course, walk towards through the middle. And I love this. I mean, you know, right now there's really not a lot of there's not like an incoming attack of any sorts from GUMIHO, so RAGNAROK gonna go ahead and be active with that link, with those links, start killing off that rock there, the disruptible rocks, and kind of free up another pathway for his lings. Here we go. GUMIHO gonna go ahead and start maybe turning them into Hellbats, or does he even have armory? I gotta check there. and will of course get shut down. But in the meantime, there is a BC as well. We completely missed that, or at least I completely missed that. Was paying attention in the middle side, but looks like GUMIHO is trying to find some damage here and there, but not quite getting as much damage as he would like. I mean, let's take a look at the this loss tab here. Only 2 drones going down throughout this whole game here. RAGNAROK trying to go for a counterattack, but of course GUMIHO will be safe with the remainder of his Hellions. But yeah, I mean, when you kind of invest your resources into this BC opening, you would imagine that you'll get like a little bit more damage than only 2 drones. But I gotta say, RAGNAROK has done a really good job in denying those Hellions from harassing him, and also, you know, having those spore callers in time. You know, it looks like that battlecruiser will go ahead and teleport back and get repaired. Of course, the great thing about battlecruisers are you can, of course, teleport them back, replenish them, or rather repair them to full health, and then send them back out with maybe even a secondary battlecruiser. But it looks like GUMIHO has stopped at 1 battlecruiser for now. So he's not quite committed into this air play. But RAGNAROK doesn't know this for sure. I mean, he doesn't have any overlords or overseer to scout this, so he's making a cautionary spire here just in case he does scout that GUMIHO is committed into more battlecruisers. However, it looks like that spire won't be necessary anytime soon. What he really needs now is maybe some banelings, some lings. Now, granted, this is not a scary force here. He has actually elected to stick his Hellions back home in case of maybe he's scared of a ling counterattack of some sort, because of course those are kind of really the thing that kind of rattles the Terran when they're trying to go for attack, and then all of a sudden they look back at home in their base and there's like a million lings there, just completely killing all their SCVs. Alright, nice little scout there. We'll see there is a 4th base here for the Terran. And I like this. Not doing, just making just enough corruptors to kill the battlecruiser, and also the chase down the medevacs if you would like to. Not overcommitting too much into those corruptors. Let's see here. Only 8. So nice decent amount. You could have even stuck with 6, I think. But anyhow, here we go. Looks like actually a little bit sloppy there by RAGNAROK, losing a few lings at the front lines. Now, as we mentioned earlier before, the creep spread through the middle is really so important because of attacks like these. But actually, these corruptors are actually going to go ahead and force GUMIHO to pull back his pretty much half of his army. Going to slow down this push. Going to give him RAGNAROK some time to make some more banelings and create some more reinforcements as well. And here we go. Looks like RAGNAROK going to get a nice kind of arc here. We'll get on top of the majority of the army of GUMIHO, and we'll clean up the rest. But ooh, suffering, taking a lot of splash damage here at this choke area. The rock finally does get taken down, but that could have been I mean, that was pretty good for RAGNAROK, but I think that could have been way better if he did not kind of suffered that much damage in that choke area with the splash damage. In the meantime, while this is all happening, the hive is getting more thin, so RAGNAROK is going to go ahead and start preparing for the next stage of this game. Although it might not even reach the next stage, as looks like Ragnarok cleaning up a lot of the army forces of GUMIHO. More importantly, he has taken out pretty much all the tanks. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, it looks like GUMIHO only has 2 tanks left, and one of them just popped up recently. So yeah, he's cleaned up. At the very least, he has resetted the tank count, which is really great for Ragnarok. And right now with Hive, he can start adding in those Vipers to yoink those tanks, or maybe even, you know, put some blinding clouds. But look at this here, GUMIHO just having a field day with these sensor towers. Just like a billion sensor towers on the map. So many circles. Alright, looks like we're gonna have another skirmish here out in the middle. Now, I would really like to see Ragnarok, because he has had a couple of fights here, kind of in the center area. A lot of the creep spread has been depleted. I mean, he should really kind of replenish that, but it might not even matter, because his Ravager Baneling force is just going to completely obliterate this 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock base. But he's got to be careful. I mean, the army supply is now in favor of GUMIHO, and he does not have any Banelings. Oh boy, did he just overcommitted? Did he overextend it into that attack there? I think, yeah, Ragnarok might not be able to defend his base. He might want to just sack it, to be honest. And there we have it. He's going to go ahead and retreat the rest of his drones, because he realizes that he needs to buy some time for those Ultralisks to come out. If he can kind of get those Ultralisks to kind of go through the front and tank some of those tank shots, and then kind of come in with the rest of his Ling and Baneling forces, that might be pretty good for him. But again, he needs to wait for those Ultralisks to pop out. I'm going to go ahead and try for a counterattack in the meantime, but this, wow, this base is just really well fortified here. And yeah, it looks like Ragnarok not quite finding the damage he wants with this counterattack. He might want to actually retreat them back at home, because the army of GUMIHO is knocking at the front door. Ultralisk is out, but there's only one Ultralisk. He's trying to transfuse it, but just not quite fast enough there. And he doesn't have plentiful of energy on those queens. But at the very least, the rest of his reinforcements will come and clean up the rest and push GUMIHO, but at what cost? I mean, he lost like 2 bases. The majority of his Banelings got, of course, taken out as well and sacrificed during the fight, and now he's kind of in the back foot here. GUMIHO is going to go ahead and smell blood in the waters, but yeah, I love this. He's continuously trying to kill the Tree Tumor and also denying bases. This is really good. Alright, gonna have another attack here at the 8 o'clock base or so, and this is going to be a really important base to hang on, because this is pretty much his only last remaining full mining base. You definitely want to keep it alive, but he does not, as the DPS of the bow units will absolutely clean up the rest of, or will at least snipe down the hatchery. A parasitic bomb does go on the medevac. One of the medevacs was actually empty, and that was the one that got taken out. So unfortunately for Ragnarok wasn't able to parasitic bomb that the rest, but he does now. And so this is a nice little pickup here. But there is an attack and a drop into the main base, and the rest of his army is like really out of position. Does he go for the base trade, or does he retreat back at home? It looks like he's going to split some, as it's not really big drop here, not like a doom drop of any sorts. But he can't break this. I mean, this is a really well fortified. Actually, yeah, look at it. There's not a lot of tanks here. Most of the tanks were actually on the high ground, so he might have wanted to go in, but was just a little bit cautious, as he probably wanted to wait for the rest of his lings. Nice little nook and cranny there to park his marines. Of course, none of Ragnarok's army have any range attack. All his roaches and ravager. Oh, actually, he does have a few more little roaches left, so he might want to send them to kill the rest of these marines. But he also got to worry about this left hand side, as GUMIHO is sending his forces there, and oh no, Liberators are added into GUMIHO's army composition, which means he's gonna have to start making some Ravagers, because he doesn't have any anti-air right now. He could make Corruptors, but looks like he is just gonna stick with Lings. And here we go. These tanks actually doing taking a lot of or tanking a lot of the damage here. However, only 2 Ultralists remains. 1 Ultralist remain now. The rest of the Lings does get a surround on the last, or at least one of the last remaining tanks. And here we go. Can Ragnarok actually swing this? The supplies are quite close. And oh man, these Liberators are kind of bunched up here. Oh, Ragnarok not quite having just enough. Looks like GUMIHO just had enough to hold on. But, I mean, that wasn't a bad fight for Ragnarok. At the very least, he does kind of evens up the supply. He is ahead on the worker count by 19, as he did kill 19 SCVs. But the army supply is still in favor of our Red Terran. And there is no Banelings to speak of. He's going in before the Banelings are even morphed in. And I think that might be a little bit of a mistake here. There's still not a lot of answers for these Liberators, as these Liberators are doing a great job zoning out the bases, the base entranceway. And yeah, looks like GUMIHO just has enough to overwhelm our Blue Zerg. GUMIHO will take the game 1 victory. Sid Flesh in the live chat saying, let's see some weird mech. And I'm with ya. I am with ya. I wouldn't mind seeing some weird mech. But to be fair, I wouldn't mind seeing any type of mech, because of course the majority of games are usually bio or tank bio. So always nice to see some mech play. And of course, GUMIHO is the kind of the go-to Terran for mech play, as he's the one that brings it out quite often compared to his other Terran counterparts. Alright. Looks like a pretty standard opening. No shenanigans by either of these players. Now, this map, I would say this map kind of tells me or lends itself to maybe some meta play, because there are a lot of kind of rock areas that kind of blocks the pathways. And I think if Ragnarok does decide to go for Mutalisk, that he can kind of use that to his advantage. That would mean that GUMIHO will probably have to like kill the rocks before he can reach the base of. Actually, you know what? The hatchery placement tells me that he might go for Mutila's play as well, because instead of going for the triangular base right here, he has elected to go for the 6 o'clock base, which is more further away from GUMIHO's base, which tells me that he wants to go for Ling Bailing Mutilis, because you know, if GUMIHO does go for like some tank marine push, then it will take a bit longer for him to at the very least reach the dirt base. So yeah, that might be kind of some indication, I would say, but of course we will have to see. We will have to keep an eye out on whether he takes his 4 gases pretty early or not. But actually, he's making a lot of lings. With the ling speed about to finish, I think, yeah, it looks like he is going to go ahead and try to catch GUMIHO by surprise. And by golly, I think it's going to work, because his Hellions are out in the field. He kind of circumvent the on the left side, so GUMIHO has no idea that this happened. And here we go, the ramp is completely open. Can he get this around all these Hellions? He does get this around on at least one of the Hellions. And here we go. SCVs are gonna go ahead and absolutely crumble to these lings, and he can't even lift off the supply depot because he knows that the lings will just go and run in through. So these SCVs are helpless. Oh no! He does finally go ahead and lower the ramp area, but was that a mistake? I don't know. I think actually maybe flooding in that little choke area, kind of limiting the surface area of getting this around. I think he does, at the very least he does survive. It could have been a lot worse for sure. 9 SCVs. Now remember, Ragnarok did have to cut a little bit of economy to make all those lings. He invested those larvas and resources into lings instead of drones. So but at the very least he did get a lot of damage done. I mean, he killed the supply depots, he killed the mining time, he killed those SCVs, and you can see he's just absolutely gonna go ahead and drone up like a crazy man. Nice little wall off preventing the Hellions from coming in through. But he's definitely gonna need to make some lings here to defend at least against the Hellions. But well done there by Ragnarok. He catches GUMIHO by surprise and puts himself in a decent chance to potentially tie up the series, as he is at down 0-1. If he does lose the second game, then it's pretty much over, as this is a best of 3, and he will have to drop down to the losers versus losers match. But he definitely wants to keep his hope alive in the second game, push it to a game 3, win it, and then head to the winners versus winners match. All right, let's see here. 27 lings, 9 SCVs, 3 Hellions going down. Looks like Ragnarok is gonna go ahead and transition into roaches to help out with these Hellions. Alright, looks like Ragnarok gonna go ahead and go in for a scout, which is already something different compared to the first game. Because remember, after he got hit with the battle cruiser, looked like a Raven just came through the back door to drop some auto turrets. But as I was saying, in the last game, the battle cruiser came in, and Ragnarok didn't really scout after that. He didn't really send the overseer into GUMIHO's base to see what was the follow-up. This time around, he is going to go ahead and have a great idea as to what GUMIHO is going to go for. Is he going to go ahead and stick with mech, or is he going to transition into some bio? And it looks like he is going to go ahead and transition to some bio, as some racks are getting added. Stim on the way, or actually I think Stim is finished. Going to need some combat shield. In the meantime, a really great unexpected roach run by, we'll actually catch some decent amount of units with the tank and some SCVs going down as well. Oh, Ragnarok. Don't want to go into this barbecue fest. Alright, and here we go. Like I said, Mutalisks are pretty good on this map, and we have 8 Mutalisks on the way now. Do note that this is not a committed Mutalisk attack. He's only sticking with 8. Oh, actually, you know what? I think he just got supply block, so... Okay, he might actually make some more. So yeah, I think with this melee kind of upgrades going on, I think he is going to go ahead and start transitioning into Ling and Baneling Mutalisks. The initial roaches were just to help defend against the Hellions, but yeah, I like this. I like the game plan of Ragnarok right now. He's going to be in control for at least the next couple minutes. I mean, there is no turrets to speak of in either of these bases, so this is going to catch GUMIHO completely surprised. Oh, actually even catching the Raven. Well done there. These Mutalisks are definitely getting their money's worth. So Ragnarok gonna have the map control for the time being. I would love to see him start expanding those creep tumors, because I mean, eventually GUMIHO is gonna go for its counterattack, and we did see in the last game where the creep spread wasn't the greatest. It wasn't bad. It wasn't completely bad, but it wasn't the greatest either. So Ragnarok definitely looking to fix that in this game number 2 here on Hardwire. And also killing those rocks to allow his lings to run all over the place. Still keeping up with that Mutalisk production and getting all the upgrades as well. And oh, can he pick up the tank? He does. Can he take another second tank? A third tank? Oh, and he does. He does. He takes out all the tanks, which means that if he just rely on his banelings, GUMIHO cannot go for an attack across the map, because he just doesn't have anything to deal with all these lings. He doesn't have any splash damage to target fire on those banelings, those incoming banelings. And oh my goodness, what a surround! Look at those blue flames. But it's just not quite enough, as there are so many lings on the ground. They're going to go and get the surround on these doors as well. And they're just too much here for Ragnarok. He will tie the series and force a game number 3. So of course this is the Alpha X Katowice waiting room tournament, which of course leads up to day 2 of IEM Katowice. And boy, oh boy, was they won a very unexpected and eventful day there, because of course I think it took like 11 to 12 hours to complete day 1, but our round of 24 is set, and I would say I'm a little bit surprised by some of the people that came out of the qualifiers in the round of 36. Some unexpected names coming out of the group, or yeah, of the bracket there. But I'm excited. The round of 24 is looking pretty stacked, and especially that group D. That group D in the round of 24 group stage. Boy oh boy, is that the group of death. Let's see here. What is GUMIHO going for? Oh, looks like he opened up with a 1-1-1. We have seen, of course, Ragnarok go for Ling Bangling Ultralisk in the first game, then of course went for Ling Bangling Mutalisk on the second game. I'm wondering what he's going to go for in this third game. Does he maybe change it up, go for maybe a more of a Roach style, Roach Ravager style kind of army composition, or does he stick with his bread and butter, which it looks like, at least for today, because looks like he has been finding a good amount of success with the Ling Banglings. Didn't quite work out in the first game, but I would say he wasn't like really far behind, you know, throughout the most of the game. So then you have first Banshee flying across. Did Ragnarok scout this? Okay, yeah, he did. Looks like he does have the Spore Crawler, at least in the main base, not in the second base. The third base, he does have one, but anyhow, let's go ahead and see. Oh, is he? Oh, he's waiting for the second one, I think. Is there a second one? No, there is no second one. Okay, I think he just like forgot about it or something. Well, that Banshee was as useless as can be. Maybe put a little bit of a dent on the hatchery, but I didn't really find too much damage there. But of course, he didn't research Banshee Cloak, so I think it's all right. It's not the end of the world. He didn't invest too hard to it, so. But anyhow, looks like we do have another Spire in this game. So once again, going for the Ling Bangling Mutalisk play probably. And this is a pretty good map for it. I mean, this is a map with a lot of open areas. Also a pretty large map as well, so his Mutalisk and Link the mobility of them can really take advantage of this map. And here we go. We're gonna go ahead and get on top of these Banelings. These Banelings are gonna, oh man, only like 2 or so gets morphed in. Does he have enough? He sniped on the Banelings as well, but the rest of the Banelings being morphed in the back will go ahead and force GUMIHO back. He tried to snipe them, but there was one Baneling that got through and connected. So that was a nice little bit of connection, at least enough of a connection to allow Ragnarok to hold here. And this was important because the Spire just got done, so he really needed to defend this attack. And now he can pretty much start making up those Mutalisks. And if GUMIHO is not careful enough, he doesn't really have much of a retreat path, because these Mutalisks can just go ahead and fly and get on top of these Medevacs while the Lings and Banelings get beneath. So yeah, once these Mutalisks are out, it's going to be difficult for GUMIHO to retreat with the rest of his forces. Oh, looks like Mutalisk not going to go ahead and chase after the Medevacs quite yet. I think he's just going to wait for a bit more in the numbers. But at the very least, he's sending them across the map, feeling confident enough to defend whatever attack he is incoming with the rest of his ground forces. But he's going to have to start making a bit more Banelings, because a lot of the army in this force here is made up of Marines. Mutalisk is going to go ahead and retreat to help out. But there is going to be a timing window, as 2-2 is about to finish here for GUMIHO, which means that his army is going to be pretty beefy. And yeah, he's going to have a bit of a timing here to actually potentially put Ragnarok in a difficult position. Nicely done there, shutting down that counterattack. Ragnarok going to go ahead and dive in here. Doesn't want to lose that hatchery, but does he have enough? A lot of these Marines on the backside does kite into safety. No transfusion for this hatchery, and that gets sniped down. But Ragnarok is going to go ahead and potentially give chase. Nope, doesn't actually give chase, as the rest of the reinforcements of GUMIHO will join up. But a nice little pickoff there for GUMIHO. Slows down the economy of the Zerg player. Let's go ahead and take a look. As you can see, Ragnarok was doing pretty good, but sniping off that hatchery, huge spike here for GUMIHO all of a sudden. But he's got to be careful. His medevacs are actually quite low in energy, so he might want to go ahead and just wait a little bit before going in for another attack. Gonna replenish those energy, so there's more healing power for his infantry units. Attempted counterattack by Ragnarok will get spotted by this Marine. So unfortunately there for Ragnarok. But yeah, I'm feeling a little bit worried here for our Alpha X player, because I mean his economy is pretty healthy, but his army just doesn't quite look like it's enough. Maybe I guess it will all come down to really those Baneling connections, because he doesn't have enough of a Mutalisk count to overwhelm GUMIHO here. It's all going to come down to those Widowmine, those Baneling connections, and also Widowmine connections as well. Alright, GUMIHO, gotta be careful, doesn't want to fight completely on the creep. And Ragnarok looks like he's actually taking the favorable end of this engagement, as oh boy, these Banelings are gonna connect with a lot of these Marines here, and there's just too much. Ragnarok does it. He will take game number 3 and head to that winners versus winners match. GG.